G'day, Rod here from Industrial World, and today's video we're showing you how to put an insert bearing into a housing. So let's jump in. An insert bearing is a deep groove ball bearing which has a wider inner ring with grub screws or a locking collar to attach it to a bearing shaft, and it has a curved outside that can be fit into a cast or a pressed housing. Some bearings have got a groove around the outside with grease holes in it for greasing, while other insert bearings have just got simple holes. They come in a range of housings, different styles, but all these housings also come with a groove in them that matches up with the grease hole so that when you use the grease nipple you can put grease into the bearings. The only difference we've got to be aware of is brands like FYH, which have a groove in the bearing but no groove in the housing. You can put an FYH bearing in any housing, but if you're using an FYH housing, it's important to make sure the bearing has this groove. Other brands don't always have that groove. It's just one of those anomalies. Secondly, some bearings like SKF have got a grease hole on that side and this side of the bearing, so you can put them in either way in a housing, whereas others, like this style, have got just the one grease groove, so you've got to make sure you put it in to line up with the grease groove, with the grease line. Here is an insert bearing already in the housing. There's two filling slots at the back, and because there's a curve in the bearing and that same curve in the housing, it allows for misalignment between the base and the shaft. It's always important to use two bearings so that they lock to each other, or otherwise the bearing won't be stable in the housing and it will move around. If you look, you can see the groove in the housing, and there's the hole that matches the grease nipple. That's how the grease gets into the bearing. Here's a different style. So if you can see, there's the groove there on the front, and on the back you can see the two filling slots. And for that last housing, there's the filling slots there. There's one more style with the filling slots on the back and the groove at the front. An SKF bearing, there's the grease hole on one side, and as I rotate it around, there it is on the other side. This allows us to put it into the housing this way or that way, lining up one of the holes with the grease groove, whereas other bearings like this one, which has got a grease groove or grease hole just on one side, it's important to always line it up with the grease groove. If I put it in that way, no grease would get in. Some bearings, when they've only got one side with a grease groove, they put this location ball, and that helps to line up the bearing the right way, because when you fit it into a housing, that location will go into the filling slot and then it'll go around like that. If you take the bearing and then take a housing, you should be able to slot it into the filling slots like that and turn it as such. And again, if it had a location ball, the ball will be in that side. Normally you would have the front facing forward for all brands. As I said, with the SKF and a couple of other option brands, you can actually put it in backwards as well. Here's our bearing and housing. We pop it into a vise. We take a bar and we pop this in. We simply put the bearing in with the bar nice and square so that it all lines up. As you can see, that's the bearing fitted. And that's all there is to fitting an insert bearing into a housing. Over the counter, we'll fit them free of charge to help you get going. If you've got any other questions, please put messages below in our YouTube channel or contact us direct on our website. I'm Rod from Industrial World, and thanks for watching this video.